wife of the Orlando shooter is up against this morning. Criminal defense attorney Deanne Arthur is here. Good morning, Deanne.
Good morning.
Okay, so the first question is, why go to a grand jury? Why do this right now?
Well, I think it was a good move by the authorities because this gives them more investigative power. They're able to use this grand jury to investigate more because there's likely more layers. Is it that this man was just sexually confused and had mental issues, or were there others involved? And they wouldn't be able to do that on the state level because on the federal level, they can charge her with this concealing information from them. It's called misprison, which they don't have on the state level.
Okay, let's talk about that particular charge because it's kind of a strange, obscure charge. What is it?
It's something that's rarely used, as you're saying. It's obscure. So it's basically actively concealing information from the authorities. We don't have that on the state level. On the state level, you don't really have a duty to report crimes if you know about them but have no involvement. On the federal level, because it can have such higher impact, such as the crime that happened here, you have a duty to report it. So for her, knowing that he might be doing something but trying to get out of it by saying, I didn't know it was going to be this particular club, probably not going to get her out of the misprison charge.
Okay, let's talk about some of the other, on her defense side, what could come up. You know, lots of people would probably think that she would say, I was in fear of my own life. He told me that if I told anyone about this, he would kill me, he would kill our son. Is that enough of a defense up against that particular charge?
Well, I think they're going to have to balance it. So her saying, I feared for my life, knowing that he was going to kill hundreds of people while
potentially,
while he got 50 done, he aimed for more, way more. So balancing that may not fly either.
Well, that's interesting. Let's talk about her cooperation with authorities right now. Investigators are saying that she is cooperating, but that she is changing her story all of the time. Does that imply guilt as well? Does that help the authorities' case?
Having inconsistent stories definitely implies guilt. It's helpful to her that she's being voluntarily giving information, but giving inconsistent stories is going to go against her. You know that whole saying, anything you say or do can be used against you. It's not to help you, it's usually against you. So for her actively talking without counsel, I haven't heard that she has counsel, I think is going to get her into a little bit of a bind. When they do charge, she probably will get counsel, but I think that they're also making a good move by actively saying we're not in a rush to charge her because they want to get out a lot of information from her.
They're basically pumping her for information, seeing what she knows.
Exactly.
What's the likelihood they will charge her?
I think it's very likely, especially the information that's going to come out from the grand jury. It's hard to believe that she lived with this man and didn't know anything. I think although she's saying that she knew something was going to happen and she tried to talk him out of it, I think that there's more that she knows that she's not letting on quite yet. She's kind of dibbing it out little by little.
Isn't that strange? I mean, that's very strange. Okay, let's talk about the threatening to charge with more. What else could they charge her with besides this obscure?
Well, they can charge her with conspiracy. They can charge her under aiding and abetting laws because while she's saying she only knew of the possible acts, more could come out and that she might have even helped him. The fact saying that she actually went with him to buy ammunition, that she went with him to scope out the club, that could be active involvement that could fall under aiding and abetting, that she actually helped him get these murders done.
How do you defend against that in a terror, case?
Now, the defense attorney has a tough job. Not only is it a tough case, but it's a tough job to stand out in front of the public and be able to say things for her and
on
about
her behalf,
her, right, that will make you look more fondly of her.
And what kind of penalties? I mean, this is obviously these are federal crimes. So, I mean, we're talking federal penitentiary, we're talking that type of thing. What kind of length of sentence? I mean, what does this?
Well, with aiding and abetting law, you get charged or you can get sentenced as if you committed the crime.
Oh,
so
wow.
She could get multiple life sentences, death penalty even, because she aided and abetted. It's almost as if she was a shooter herself.
Wow. Okay. And would the fact that she is a mom, was the wife, could claim that, I know you said it would be hard to, justify her safety versus the safety of others, but does that weigh into it at all in terms of sentencing or in terms of punishment for this?
Well, the judicial system tries to look at things as through a sentencing guideline. Federal guidelines are much tougher than state guidelines. It could come into play as the judge sentencer has mitigating factors, but the magnitude of this crime, I don't think a son is going to be able to save her from a penalty.
Or anything like that. Or even fear for her own life would save her from this.
Right.
Wow. All right. Well, Deanne, thank you so much for your insight into this. We really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a little break and we'll be right back with